Greetings and salutations. Do you realize that we have over 75,000 subscribers on this channel as of the time this video is being posted? That happened just a day or two ago. Thank you very much to everybody who has subscribed so far. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and if you like what you see, give a thumbs up to the video. That helps an awful lot, gang. Thank you to everyone. It is much appreciated. This video is going to be for more advanced Linux users. We're going to talk about how to create Debian installation packages for Debian, Ubuntu, and Linux Mint. Debian is the root of a lot of the Linuxes out there. Ubuntu is based on Debian, then Linux Mint is based on Ubuntu. Linux Mint has a version which is based on Debian. There are many distributions that are based on Ubuntu, like Elementary OS, Pop OS, KDE Neon. The list goes on and on. And then there are also those that are based directly on Debian, like MX Linux and Crunchbang. So whatever you're using, if it is in the Debian family, you will be able to create a package which you can use to distribute software. Or you may create a meta package to trigger installation of software from other places. We'll talk more about that as we jump into it. Now, I know enough about how to do this to do my own thing. I'm not terribly interested in it, to tell you the truth. This is not going to be the beginning of a series where I show you how to do RPM packages for Red Hat, Fedora, CentOS, and OpenSUSE. And we're not going to get into snap packages or app images or Flatpaks or any of them newfangled things. No, we're just going to talk about deb packages today. And even if you are among the vast majority of viewers of this video who will never install a deb package, or rather create a deb package, you'll probably install a lot of deb packages, but you probably never need to create one. Even if you're one of those people, guess what? You are going to learn by the time this video is over exactly why you need to be very, very careful about where you get deb packages from on the internet, and make sure that they come from people that you trust implicitly. Because the creator of a deb package is given 100% access to every part of the systems that people will install that package on. You'll see that as we roll through. So with all of that said, let's get into it. Oh, one more thing. Thank you very much to Jeremy O'Connell at CyberWeb Solutions for helping me to understand this concept myself. I was struggling with this a while back when I wanted to learn how to distribute my own program XBT in a deb package. I had a real hard time wrapping my head around it, and Jeremy finally took pity on me, and he went out and did some research and sent me some simplified instructions, which I have adapted for use in this video today. So a lot of this comes from Jeremy, so thank you to Jeremy, because it helped me to be able to understand how this works. I just couldn't wrap my head around it. But once I did it a couple of times, I went, oh, that's really easy. It's one of those kind of things. So I hope it's like that for you too. We're going to go through the instructions. I'm going to explain them, and then we'll take a look at the actual XBT deb package and how that is created. And we will create a deb package, and we will install it. So here we go. First thing you need to do is create a directory, that's what I'm trying to say, to put your project in, and give it a name like this. So in this example, we're saying that you're putting it in a directory in your user directory, which is your home folder, okay? Deb packages, and the name of your project is my program, and then you put an underscore, and then the next thing you want to put in is your version number. If you don't have a version number, you could just omit it, but if you're going to be updating this and you're going to be uploading updates to like GitHub or wherever you're distributing your software, then it makes it a lot easier to make sure that you keep one separated from the other. And then you have, at the very end, after another underscore, the architecture. That would be whether it is intended to run on a 32-bit system. So you've seen that where it says i386 32-bit, and then you'll see 64-bit AMD 64, whatever that is. You see that on the end of deb packages all the time. That's where that goes. If it runs on everything, just put all. And most scripts that you're going to want to do this with, because a lot of you guys out there that will create a package are probably going to be distributing some sort of bash-based script or Python or something like that. So a lot of that will run on everything, and it doesn't make any difference. You're going to know the difference. If you are actually compiling software into binaries, like you're writing in C and then you're going through the build process, that's different. You're going to know what architecture, you'll be able to do that. Okay, so within our directory that we just created, we create another directory and we call it Debian, all caps Debian. And then we add the files from our project into our project directory. And what you do is you treat the project directory as if it was the root directory on the destination machine that you want to install your software on. Now, this is the part that I had a hard time wrapping my head around. So the way it works is if you are going to be using /user/bin for where to put your program, which is actually where you want it to go, ladies and gentlemen, then you will create within that directory, and we have a absolute path from root through home and all the way up through here to show this. This is where you're going to put it within your project directory right here. You're actually going to create a directory called user and a directory called bin, and you are going to put it in your file that you want to go into the destination machine's user/bin directory in there, and on and on. Some third-party proprietary software is installed in opt. So, for instance, if you have Google Chrome installed on your machine and LibreOffice, if you'll go look in your opt directory, you will see that that's where that software is installed. Usually what is done is a link is created, a symlink is created from the opt directory to the user/bin directory. That way you have a kind of a launcher there, and it's just a symlink. That's done all the time. That's how Google Chrome works, as a matter of fact. There is a symlink in the bin directory, in user/bin, and that's how you launch it. 95% of all of the software on your system is installed in user/bin. This is where apt, which is the tool that deals with Debian packages, it's the package management system for Debian Ubuntu. What it does is it defaults to putting any software there. There are other places on the system where software is kept. We've talked about that in past videos, like when you look into your root directory, you'll see a place called bin. That is for system-related software, utilities. That's where that goes. Anything that we would create and put into a deb package most likely would not go there. We're not creating system essential distribution files. We're creating things outside of the distribution. So this is where it would go. In past videos, I have talked about how if you create a script, you can manually put it into one of two locations. You could put it in user/local bin. This is where you put software that you want every user on the system to have access to that is not going to be managed by the apt package manager. That's where it goes. If you are creating software that only you are going to be using, then you create a local bin within your home directory, and then you can put it there. This is not something that you can do from a deb package. You really do not have direct access to people's home directories. This is for the outside of that part of the system. It's not to say that you couldn't come up with some conceivable way to put something in people's home directories if you wrote a lot of code or whatever. It's just not a really good idea. It's frowned upon. All right? So really, honestly, you want to put it in user bin or opt. That's where most apt-based packages for Debian go. So once we get our stuff in there and it's set up the way that we want it to, and we have all our directories where we want them to be, and I will show you this at the end of the video. We're not just going to be talking about it. We're going to go through the XBT package. We'll create one and we'll install one. So if that doesn't make sense to you yet, it will. You'll see. Okay? So the next thing that we need to do is create a file within the Debian directory, which is going to be called control. That file is going to be what describes to the apt package manager or whatever piece of software that you are using to install the package what your program is all about. So we have a sample control file here, and we have the name of the program. That's under package, and it's my program. Then we have the version number, and put in 1.0. Then we have the architecture, which is all. And is this essential to the distribution? No, this is an optional package, so the priority will go down here and it will be optional. Then we have the dependencies right here. This is anything that your script or your piece of software depends on to run. So in the case of XBT, it calls upon programs that should already be installed on the system, like rsync and less, gparted, and so we put it here. That way, when you install the package, if for some reason it's not already installed, it will attempt to install the dependencies so the program will run. This is where a lot of your errors come when you have a mismatching deb package. Sometimes if you try and install a deb package that was compiled for Debian and you try and put it on Ubuntu, a dependency won't be there and it'll say the dependencies can't be met. So that's why it doesn't work. For maintainer, you just put in your name. You can put anything on that line you want. You can put your name and your website and whatever, but not many people are going to see that. And then finally, the last thing is a description of the program. You can put just a line of text in there without any breaks. It could be anything that you wanted it to be. And that would be enough information to actually install your program. But you have more options, like you can create a script in here and put it in this Debian folder and call it pre-inst, which means that it would run before the installation process, or post-inst, which means it runs afterwards. So if you have a really complex program and you're doing a lot of crazy stuff, you can use post-install to clean things up, or do things like create different kinds of configuration files somewhere. Whatever you want to do with this, it's available to you. And they must be given proper execute permissions, just like any bash script. It's just a script. It's just going to run before or after, and you can run it in bash or whatever you want to run it in, whatever shell that you could. You could write them for SH if you wanted this to be portable everywhere, but pretty much every Debian-based system out there has bash installed, so just write it for bash and you'll be okay. So that's pretty straightforward. And then once you do that, you just change the permissions in that to 755. I put that in there. And now you generate the package by navigating to the directory where it is, and you just turn it loose. That's it. So now that we have done that, and I have thoroughly confused some of you, what we're going to do is we're actually going to build a package. So let us grab this, and I want to copy it. But I don't want that shell in there. I just want the command right there. And then we're going to jump in here and we're going to see what I already have. And you'll see that I have the XBT project in there because this is where I put deb packages. This is the only thing I have in a deb package. So what I'm going to do is remove the .deb. We're going to take that out there so the package itself is gone, right? And what we'll do is let's jump in here and look inside and see what we got. So if we list what's in here, you see that we have two directories. There's Debian and then there's user. Let's jump into user. All right, we'll list that, and you'll see that this is going in two places. So let's go ahead and look in bin. And you'll see that's where the actual script XBT goes. It goes in the bin directory there. Go back up one level, and then we will cd into share. All right. And then we're going to go, I think, yeah, let's go ahead and we'll just do that. List the storage, and you'll see that, let's see, where am I? You see that we have two directories listed there, applications and icons. So let's go jump into icons. Oh, hold on.
Sorry about that. Get that straight, please.
Okay, let's list what we got in there. You'll notice that in icons now, we now have a file called xbt-icon, and it is in an XPM format, which is kind of a standard format for icons on your desktop. If I go back up one level again, like that, CD, please. Thank you. If We go back up one level, and this time we jump into applications. Is that where we want to go? Yes. And we list the storage. You'll see now that we have a file in there called XBT Desktop. Now what this is the launcher for the menu. And it has the information that is necessary for any free desktop out there. It doesn't matter whether it's KDE or GNOME or XFCE, whatever desktop it is, they all work the same way. If you stick that in applications, this will be added to the menu. And let's just take a look real quick about and look at what's in there, just so you guys can see it. So Nano XBT Desktop. So you see this is pretty much a straightforward file. Now this version right here, I've shown this before. You see where this says 1.0? This does not refer to the version of the program, XBT. This refers to the version of the launcher. Okay? So XBT is going to run in a terminal. That's why this says terminal true. It says, where is the icon? It is right there. And then we have where the executables are. And it's in user/bin/xbt. We have a name for the menu there. That's what's in here, guys. That's what that file does. So these are all of the components that make up the XBT program. This is where they go. So let us jump back now that we've seen where all our files are. And let's go back one more, get out of the user directory. And yes, that does stand for user in the old days. I have a video up where I talk about the file system in Linux, and I say that it's Unix System Resources or Universal System Resources, which is true. Later on, they hung that on there. But in the beginning, yes, it was short for user. So in that video, I'm actually incorrect. I need to revise that or fix it or do something. All right, let us see what we have going on here. So we have just the package there. And now what we want to do is we want to go into that Debian file. We'll list the storage there. And you will see that I have the control in there. So let's look at that. And you'll see it's pretty simple. Right now we are on version XBT, version 3.0 of XBT. The architecture is all its essential no. It's an optional program. It depends on less, parted, and rsync. And then I'm the maintainer, and it has a very short description there that says what that's all about. So that's what that file does. Now let's talk a little bit about the what I have a preinst file in there. So let's do nanopreinst. We'll take a look at this. This is a script which runs before XBT is installed. And what it does is it looks for old versions of XBT. Before I put this in a deb package, what I had done is I had created my own little script, which was an installer, which actually worked quite well. And it put XBT into people's user directories under user local bin, or it put it in the home directory. Either one. It was an option. You could do either way. I don't remember exactly how it was set up. But then people could drag it and put it in either one of those. And so I wanted to be able to get rid of those old versions before the new version was installed. So this is one time when I actually dipped down into the local users directory. And this may or may not get rid of all the XBTs. If somebody else on the computer who had root access had it in their home directory but wasn't necessarily installing the new version, this would miss that. But I figured that most of the folks who had already installed XBT in their local user bin directory, that it would be okay, and that this would just go in and take it out. So that's what that's about. And then it goes in and it looks to see if you have this there, and if so, it gets rid of it. And then it goes through, it just goes through all of the different files for the system. Now, getting rid of the one in user/bin and then getting rid of the XBT desktop file and the icon file, I added that in later because originally when people were trying to update from the bash, or rather from the apt package, the Debian package, they were saying that it wasn't automatically refreshing the desktop. So I just did that to make sure. Now, technically speaking, you shouldn't have to do that. That is not necessary. You do not have to do this to create a package or update a package. The apt package manager takes care of that, but I had some people who said that they were having a problem. So this is just making double damn sure that it does it. And probably in future programs that I write and package up, if I do end up writing anything else, that won't be done. So anyway, after all of that rigmarole, you see exactly what goes into creating the package. So what we're going to do is now we are going to just paste in, let me get out of here. We go back up one level, and now we are going to paste in the command that we copied earlier. And what should happen here is that if I put in xbt as the argument, actually I don't, oh, I'm in that, I need to get out of that directory. It's not going to work. Almost misled you guys. So let's do one up. All right, now list the storage. There's the directory for our xbt project. So now what we want to do is to paste in that command. And yes, I know I can center click to do that. I'm just doing that to show that I'm pasting. And we give it the name, and there now it's found it. All right, so we turn it loose. All right, the package was built. List the storage. Now we have a package. There it is. So just for fun, we can reinstall that. Just so you guys see how it looks when it runs. It's already installed on the system, but we'll just install over top of it. So if I want to, well actually I want to show you that if you do packages this way and people install them, then you can remove them using sudo apt remove xbt. So did I get that right? Yes. So it says this program is going to be removed. Let's go ahead and do that. Now you can go back and look at all those files that I showed you that was in that package. They're gone now. They're off the system. But what the package installer cannot do, or the installer and remover, is it's not going to go into your home directory and remove configuration files. So that's why you can install a package and try something, and if it creates configuration files for the local user, they'll still be there. Just delete them manually. That's all you got to do. It's not going to break the system or hurt nothing. You see something left behind, get rid of it. It's your home directory. There's nothing in there that you don't need to keep if you don't want to. It's not going to break the system. So let's go ahead and install the package. And I guess maybe we could, why don't we do this graphically? Let's show it graphically in Ubuntu, just for the hell of it, because we could use like GDebi or dpkg-i, but let's do it graphically here on the desktop. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up the file manager, and we're going to navigate to our deb package that we just created. So we are in Documents, we are in Scripts, we are in Deb Packages, and there's our deb package. So if I double click in Ubuntu, it will open up Software, and it's going to say, sure, install. And now it's going to install it. Of course, it doesn't give us any feedback about what it's doing. So the package is now installed. If we get an update and want to upgrade, then we can do it this way. We can show it this way. Sudo gdebi, which is the software I like to use. And then we'll just put in xbt, and it finds the package there. Okay. All right. It just shows you the information about it there. Oh, wait a minute. Why did that do that? Let's try that again. I know why. That was my fault. That was the autofill. It got to me. I've got to put .deb on the end. See? I make mistakes too, folks, and I leave them in, and this is why. Because I want you to see that. And, of course, what else did I do? No, I did. I did it with sudo. Okay, so now it's going to give me my description that I put in there, and we'll install it over top of it. You'll actually see that it's going to remove the old XBT packages. You see, right there, removed old XBT. That's that pre-installation file. It's done. So there you go. That's how this works. It is really that simple. We created a deb package, and you can also use it to create meta packages. I don't know whether I talked about that earlier in the video here. Almost said movie, but this thing's getting long enough to be a movie, isn't it? A meta package is basically a Debian package that doesn't install anything itself, but when it gets to the dependency part, it just brings in a whole bunch of other stuff. This is how you can type in one package to install an entire desktop. That's how it works. You're not actually installing anything from the package itself. It's just saying that it's dependent on all this other stuff, and it brings it in, and of course all that stuff is interdependent, so then it puts it on the system. So that's what a meta package is. So that is it. Thank you for watching the video. I certainly do appreciate it. Your feedback is always welcome. You can check out Easy Linux on the web at easylinux.com. That's where everything comes together. Learn more about Linux there. You can join the discussion at Easy Talk. That is our very own forum, which we run from the server all the way down. We have complete control over it, so therefore it is not part of any large corporation. We don't depend on any large corporation. We keep it going ourselves. So therefore your data cannot be sucked up by said large corporation and redistributed or hacked into. It is a very safe and secure place to be, with lots of cool moderators who keep it fun. Please be sure to give Easy Linux a like on Facebook if you are a Facebook user as well. Links will be in the description, plus the notes from the video will be there as well. We will do it again soon. Thank you for watching.